Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity 2. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we finish some side quests over here in the Beast of Winter DLC, and also as we get ourselves into the last quest of the game. Well, I'm not really sure what is going to happen, in the sense that if it's the last quest, or just the last chapter, or, you know, because it could be many things, but we have a lot of things to do before that, because we need to decide who we're going to join. I am leaning, so we have the Principe San Patrena, the Valiant Trading Company, or the Royal Deadfire Company. I'm leaning toward joining the Royal Deadfire Company, or the Principe San Patrena, but that will depend on how they present themselves, really, because they have slavers in their midst, so we need to be apprehensive of that. So we need to go to Brythe, and Brythe is, I looked it up, and she's in one of these places. I think she might be over there. We're gonna go to all those, but we also have another mission over here that we got last episode, Toasting the Dead, and I need to go into the Dead Flow. Oh no. Oh no.
You return!
Yeah, I do. Is it too much to hope that you do so bearing the fruit of rhyme constructs? No, because I didn't have that quest when I went in there.
The truth has been revealed. Even endings end. And you have brought that to us. Thank you, Dusk Speaker.
That was hardly the first time I've dealt with the dragon. It proves nothing.
Well, it proves that some of us lost any sense of self-preservation around the time we joined you. Funny how that goes.
Yeah, it does prove that.
That you find it common only adds to the telling. But you came for fish, no? See anything that interests?
Where do you get these fish? Everything's frozen.
It is not ice all the way down, newcomer. They may come out a bit hard and cold, but for that we have the fire, yeah?
Also, my character is from the White Dead Wens. She should know this. Also, anybody knows. I don't think... Well, at the age of 5, I saw snow. I've never seen snow ever since, and I know that you fish under the ice. Like, anyway. She's a hops closer and stares at the fish with desperate longing.
We have plenty of food back on the boat. Down, boy.
So what brought you here? Or down here?
You say down, as if this isn't north of the White that Wens.
Oh, no. Really not. Who... What? Okay. Ramble time. We know that the setting has maps that, and the most fantasy settings have maps that point, where you put the north to the top. That's not necessarily the case for, certainly not for fantasy, but there's a lot of cultures that put east to the north. I believe the Nords or Vikings did that. I believe I think it's the Vikings that did that. I think there's people from Asia that does west to the north, I believe, or west to the top. However, I don't think that people, unless they're like, well, maybe these days, in the 21st century, people say down and up, depending on what north and south is. But if you're living in not in a fantasy setting necessarily, but if you're living in a medieval-style setting, this is actually not medieval because we have firearms, and while, you know, late medieval age already has firearms, one of the big distinctions between what medieval age, what is considered medieval age, and the contemporary, actually the modern age, has to do with firearms and their usage in war. Anyway, if we're talking about those terms, so this would be modern age style. But still, even in a modern age style, people don't say down because it's south, because people don't even know how to read maps. So, like today, they don't know how to read maps. And I realized, you know, to an experienced RPG player such as yourself, I'm sure, reading maps is second nature, because it is. But maybe it isn't. And certainly, maybe you know people who don't know how to read maps. Reading maps isn't necessarily the easiest thing, or rather the most intuitive thing, because it's an abstraction, right? And certainly, and even if people do know how to read maps, they don't look at maps. they don't look at maps. Certainly not now with the GPS, but they didn't used to. And they certainly don't say down and up. They say down and up if it's in the mountain. And I ramble.
This is the end of the world. The culmination of all things. The final chapter of the final book. What fool would not want to be here?
Maybe another time. Yes. What fool indeed. I ramble about all the things. Halfjorn.
So much to us that you're here.
Yes, indeed. I believe it's not. Is this not the? I think this is like the bar or something. This is where we were when we I think this is where we were supposed to go when the messengers showed up.
Impressive. Your struggle against the beast. Don't take it bad. The resurrection. All things end, yeah?
Oh yeah, I remember him. His face is very I don't know why. It seems very familiar to me. I think he might remind me of a certain bass guitar player. But I wouldn't know for a fact. So let's just see if I can find this person that I'm looking for. I'm looking at my second screen or third screen or whatnot. And it doesn't look like it might be here. This is an altar. So it is not. Who are we looking for? Harbinger Brythe is the name of the Harbinger. Well, Brythe is the name of the Harbinger that we're looking for. And according to pillarsofeternity.gamepedia.com, very handy that the internet exists, it's in a location called Harbinger's Dwelling. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of Harbinger's Dwelling. I forgot to pronounce it properly. Harbinger's Dwelling. That's where we're going. And there's a bunch of Harbinger's Dwellings. This does look promising. It is promising.
How are you again? I hope the pilgrims have not been too much trouble to you. Was there something else you wanted to know?
Yeah, I killed the pilgrims on the outcrop above.
You killed them? All of them?
Well, it didn't leave me much of a choice.
So many.
Her face falls into her waiting palms.
Foolish Brythe. You asked the Dusk Speaker. What did you expect?
That is one way of looking at it, for sure. She rubs her forehead.
Here. I've not much coin, but you've done as I've asked, so it's yours.
She pushes a fat pouch of Valian coinage into your hands. Did I do something wrong?
No.
She shakes her head.
When you did your bloody work atop the flow, did you see a woman, about 30 winters my senior, with skin matching mine and hair the color of butter?
I don't remember. I can go check the corpses if you like. With a sigh that sends a shudder through her small body, Brythe shakes her head.
No. I can pick through corpses myself. I can manage that much. Still, I suppose it's a good thing for the Watch, you ending the pilgrim threat.
How was it you knew one of the pilgrims?
Ares, my sister, she was always, well, she believed. Truly believed. In a way that I never have. Not that the gods were real. Obviously Rimmergant exists. But that doesn't mean we've taken the right lessons from him. Or interpreted them correctly.
Ramble, and ramble about, the question of the existence of the gods. You can't put that into... Wow, that super does not fit this setting. That is, like, I think there is a reason, historically speaking, there has always been, how should I put this? The history of atheism is long and rich, and we know very little of it because well, I guess if we don't know, it's not history, because history necessarily means that it has been recorded. But the point is, the lowercase h history of atheism is long in real life. In a setting, in a fantasy setting, especially one that you custom make to tell a story, one with themes and concise, organized plot lines and just thorough lines of the worship of gods and whatnot, you need to set atheism, you need to set it up beforehand. It doesn't, like, this doesn't, obviously Rimmergand exists. Not that the gods were real. This is never in question. Nobody ever... Actually, wait a minute. I rambled about this already, didn't I? And I corrected myself. Or was it in a different game? I think I rambled about this already. And I corrected myself. In saying that... I was gonna say. In saying what I'm gonna say. Nobody has ever questioned the existence of the gods in this setting. But that's not true. There are some people who do that. But it just sounds so... Like, it doesn't... it just feels weird. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna ramble about it too much because I don't remember if I have indeed been proven wrong. I have, since I started playing this game here on the channel, I have seen and finished seeing a whole Let's Play of the first game again, and there were some things that I rambled about in this Let's Play that I then noticed that I was incorrect. I think I've mentioned that, but I don't remember if it was this thing in specific. Yeah, nobody, like, this, obviously Rimmergand exists. I was like, of course. I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's so obvious that of course they do exist. You can see them in every facet of society. It is these gods are imbued in the history and the culture of all the people of this setting. Well, I'll say all of them. No, all of them. Yeah, I was gonna say the ones that Wade one brought down south into Deerwood in the first game, or before the first game, but those also have there's Woodica, I think, and there's Abaddon that is related to Red Ceres. I'm thinking of Red Ceres, and it's like the gods are everywhere, and their touch is everywhere, and you can ask if it is. I mean, you can have this attitude for sure, but not when you're telling a story, and also not when you're even when you're acting in a even when you're looking at historically. There are certain cultures that don't see the existence of gods as much of an issue as other cultures. Generally, polytheistic religions have a better are a lot more resilient to the question of whether gods are real, where monotheistic religions are a lot more susceptible to the question of whether the gods are real or not. And you can see that historically. Like, for example, I keep referencing the Romans and the Greek. It's not that there weren't Romans and Greeks who didn't believe in the existence of gods, or that had a more elucidated understanding of the systemic benefits of the gods existing and who exploited that existence or non-existence. And of course people understood what was going on back then. Some people did anyway. But it's not like there was as much of a... If you were a Roman who didn't believe that the Roman gods existed, you didn't stand to gain as much from just even a sociological perspective, let alone just monetarily. You didn't stand to gain as much by denying their gods as you did, for example, in the medieval age, by denying the existence of Yahweh or what, like if you're in Christian Europe, or Allah if you're in Muslim, Europe as well, but Middle East. Well, actually Africa, a lot of parts of the world. But because those religions are monotheistic, it is more of a change. So it appeals. It is much better, or rather, how should I put this? You can grab much more a person by telling them that the one thing that this religion claims is wrong than saying that all those gods are wrong, because most likely the person who follows a polytheistic religion, and that certainly was the case for the Romans, most likely that person will already not believe, maybe not necessarily the existence, but the legitimacy and just the benefits of a bunch of those gods. So if you go up to somebody who doesn't like Mars, and doesn't like Jupiter, and doesn't like Neptune or whatnot, and you just tell them, "Oi, all the gods are wrong, like, I figured. Half of them were rubbish already. The other half, I suppose. So it's all, like, it's not as much of a break. So people tend to not even bother with that as much, at least in regards to their cultural approach to religion, because religion, of course, has a cultural aspect, but as well as a spiritual aspect. And yeah, sure, maybe their spirituality tends not to be as strong, and you can see that for I'm speaking out of turn here because I actually don't know anybody personally who's an Hindu, but you can see that in at least I think you can see that in Hindu people, and the Hindu pantheon is extremely rich and very complicated. But it also is reflected in the proximity that the Hindu practitioners have to those gods, and compare that proximity to the proximity that a Christian practitioner, just an average person, obviously, has to Yahweh, or a Muslim practitioner has to Allah, and you can see how. I think you can see, and that's why I'm saying I'm speaking out of turn, because of course I'm not Hindu. And as I said, I don't know anybody personally, so it's all from just reading and hearing and all that sort of stuff. But I get the impression that Hindu people are a lot more detached, because it's not necessary for their spiritual life to understand all the gods and all the pantheon in their totality. But also, it's just a necessity of religions like that. If you're looking at it from a if you're writing religions like that into your fiction, you don't need to agree with Wodika. You don't need to agree with Rimmergand. You just go with the authors, and that's exactly what happens in this setting. So it's like, oh, I ramble about all the things. I'm so very sorry.
Ares was always surer. She's smart, incredibly smart. Always very interested in souls and machines and the like. But she was also very, very convinced.
Hugging herself, she exhales a ragged breath.
I've wasted enough of your time. I doubt Ares is still alive after all this time. But it would have been nice to have known. For certain. Thaklout, Duskspeaker. And farewell.
She proffers a weak smile and turns away. Sorry, Britha. There's another aspect to this that I didn't ramble about. The game that in this game there is the question of whether the gods are real gods, and I've rambled about that, and I'm not going to ramble about it again, about what constitutes to be a real god, anyway, so this should have been, because this is sort of an inside joke to the player, and it sort of sounds like an inside joke to the player, but here, instead of exist, it should have been, obviously Rimmergand is a real god, which would sound just as hollow and just as out of place, but at least it would work for the player. If you were a player who didn't think too much on what God actually means, and just like, oh yeah, he's not really a real god because he was created, because apparently that's a disqualifying thing, but I'm not going to ramble about that. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's that I've said my piece. We have also finished that quest, which is good news. And we're just going to leave. And we're going to go... Okay, right. So I want to go with the Principi Sempetrena. That's probably the ones that I'm going to side with. If I'm going to side with anybody, because I think I do need to side with somebody. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure we do. We do need to. So I'm going to leave the Principi Sempetrena for the last ones. However... Maya might get upset if I don't side with the people that she's from, which I believe is in Nekataka that I need to go to. Let's look. The Royal Deadfire Company. The Hazanui would like my help with something, but she will not give me details unless I commit fully to aiding the Royal Deadfire Company. If I cement my alliance with her, there will likely be no turning back. And this is why I say that there's we need to. So maybe let's leave that for later, because we're definitely not going to side with the Valiant Trading Company. At least I don't think we will. So where do I need to go? The company headquarters in Queensbirth. Yes, we're going the right direction. Hopefully my morale, we're still concerned. Morale is going down because people have run out of hardtack, And, you know, it's understandable. How about a little bit of a tarloaf over here? Who doesn't like tarloaf? Sounds like a awful thing, but it isn't tar. It's tar, which is it's cheese or something. Hopefully it is, because who doesn't like cheese? I mean, there's plenty of people who don't like cheese, and a bunch of other people who can't eat cheese, unfortunately. I mean, I say unfortunately because I'm assuming they like cheese, because who doesn't like cheese? And hence goes the circular conversation that I have with myself. Let's see what I can do here for drinks. Ooh, Forgetful Night. Oh, no, that's way too good. That's way too good. Look at that thing. Yeah, that's stuff like that it's the stuff that you want to keep for using. Never, really. That's really the end of the day. That's what's going to happen. It's not great. Why can I not find drink? Got some lager. No, not cannons. Put some fruit over there. That doesn't really matter. Ooh. A rack. Minus dexterity, minus damage taken. I mean, that's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. That minus damage... We don't really need the morale, but still. The minus damage taken is pretty decent. The game does that. What you just witnessed, by the way. I think you only have so much distance to cover. Let's go into... Actually, I should look. Director Castle. Oh. Because it's in Quiddensburg. It's outside. Let's go to Sansa's Map Emporium. Because we need to... You know, we charted all the islands already. I hope there's no more islands to chart, because... Yeah. Hey, Caleb, what's up? Good boy.
Welcome back, welcome back. It is a pleasure to see you once again. Tell me, how is the sailing? Smooth? Nothing to delay your expedition, I hope. How might I assist you?
I have found... I've got some material for your book.
I could not have hoped for a better partner in this endeavor. Your well-deserved pay, of course. Why stop here? We're making good headway, and you've certainly proven yourself. I'm sending you far out west this time. Past Port Maje, past the Wakara Reef, and even the Kangati Islands. Nobody's been out that way in ages. All manner of dark stories. I'm sure you'll be fine. I'll be waiting. Welcome back, welcome back. How might I assist you?
I've got some material for your book.
Wonderful, I can't wait to... Oh, is that a little fishman you've drawn? I had already set a coin aside for you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. We're getting into deeper water now, so to speak. We call the islands along the east of Magran's Teeth the Burning Shoals. As you might imagine, it gets a little hot over there. 2 of the islands haven't been surveyed yet. You'll want to sail northeast from the docks to reach the islands. I'll be waiting.
And that one, I can't do, interestingly enough. Or I can't, I mean, I can do, but I just can't, you know, turn it in. Because we have not explored those islands. And we couldn't explore those islands. We cannot. Because we need to side with somebody. And only then will we be able to traverse into the Magran's Teeth, or bosom, or something or other. So where are we supposed to go? It's good that we came over here. We're supposed to go over here. Commoner, you must have sailed far to come here. Oh no. This is the one that that is open only during the day. Anya?
The Valiant Trading Company thanks you for your diligent work, Mestre.
Of course, of course. Let's rest until morning. And then we're gonna talk to Castrol over here. Everybody's leaving. She stays there during the night as well. For some reason, I thought she was only there during the day. Maybe they changed her timetable or something. Did we ever get to see the daytime change, I wonder? Because in the first game, there was a very rare animation for the changing of the lighting. Levalvari, is Castle upstairs or something? Because there's the upstairs. Or am I in the wrong... Valiant Trading Company. This is definitely the right one. The right place, I should say. But I don't know if I don't know anything. We don't, I mean, I suppose we don't need to talk to them. All we need to do is accept somebody else. This is similar to the choice that you have with the gods. It's also a four-way choice. The choice that you have in the first game with the gods. No spoilers if you haven't played it yet, although there's a lot of spoilers in this Let's Play. There isn't, however, a lot of time in this episode. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pillars of Eternity 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.